Hey everyone, and welcome to the channel. So today we're going to take a look at the 2023 Nissan Z. This particular model has the two-tone exterior paint option, so the gloss black is optional, and then as you can tell, the rest of it is finished off in a beautiful blue. With the performance model, this has an MSRP right over $53,000. But let's start off today's review with what powers the new Z. So this has a 3-liter twin-turbo V6. It's paired to the 6-speed manual transmission, pumping out 400 horsepower and 350 pound-feet of torque. That power is sent to the rear wheels. This weighs in right around 3,500 pounds. It'll do 0 to 60 in as quick as 4 seconds with a top speed of 155 miles an hour. It also has a fuel capacity of 19 gallons. You'll expect to see around 19 miles per gallon in the city, 28 out on the highway. This also has a wheelbase of 100.4 inches. Its overall length is 172.4. It has a width of 72.6 and a height of 51.8 inches. As we move on to the exterior styling now for the all-new Z, let's start off with the design for the grille. So on this model, it has a two-tone for the color. You can see the upper section is finished off in a brushed silver, and then we have the black plastic for the lower section. But there are plenty of cutouts to provide a lot of cooling to that engine. And then you'll notice that this has the LED headlights, DRLs, and turn signals on both sides, along with forward sensors. Now there's really nothing else for the front end aside from the contoured lines that you can see in the lower section there, and then the Y-shaped design running down the hood, meeting the Nissan badge right in the middle. So not too many design elements, but it's definitely functional for a sports car like this. Now as we work our way to the side, this has a set of 19-inch wheels, finished off in more of that brushed silver, and then this has the 4-piston brake calipers up front and 2 pistons in the rear. Now the side mirrors are finished off in gloss black to match the theme with the rest of the roof there. It has the integrated turn signals in them, and then we do have this brush trim piece that separates the window and the body color from that roof. So it gives it that nice division between the two-tone design. Now you'll notice too there's some more gloss black in this very lower section here, just to add a little bit more definition with the front section of that side skirt. So it has some nice lines in the lower section, and then everything else has a good curved design to it, including this rear fender arch. So it comes off of the door there, very wide with the massive gas cap leading all the way to the rear. Now for this rear end, this does have a trunk mounted spoiler. It has a good curve to it, very big for what it is. Nissan badge right in the middle with the backup camera. This does have LED taillights as well as the turn signals, and you can see some design elements from previous Nissan Zs with the black running right through the middle with the taillights there, which is a nice touch. We have the backup sensors, more gloss black, and that dual exhaust. I think it has a very nice modern design to it for the Z, and it's a little bit different of course than the 370Z, but it's based on the 370Z with just a new body basically. Now as we work our way to the trunk space, you can use the button on the key fob, or there's actually a hidden button up underneath the Nissan badge, so it's nice that that is tucked away. I wish that the backup camera was located in the top of that because it is off-putting to just see it located right there. Now, as we work our way to the cargo space, you can see I have all of my items in here at the moment. So you can actually pack this full of items, and you can see all the way to the driver's seat there. So you can place some items back here and still be able to reach them from up front. Now it is a little bit shallow, which is why everything is kind of spread out because it doesn't have much height to it. But nonetheless, you can fit in a good bit of items. And then it's very, very easy to close, of course. Lightweight as well. Now as we work our way to the interior, you can lock and unlock this. So we have that button right there to unlock, and then you can just grab it of course and use that button to unlock it. For this door panel, it's a pretty simple design, but I love the micro suede for that armrest there. We have the window controls, side mirror adjustments, even an air vent and the release handle, and then a little bit of storage. You can place your water bottle and some other smaller items as needed. And then for this model, we do have the two-tone for the seats with the cloth and more of that microfiber material. And they are power adjusting. So we have some lumbar support controls and the height on this right side. And then on the inside of both seats is how you can move these forwards and backwards and adjust the recline and incline. So it's interesting to see them placed on the inside of the seat. But this is a low car, so it's very easy to enter. And for the steering wheel, you'll see it's completely covered in solid black leather. On this left side, there's volume and tuning adjustments, as well as this button right here for the infotainment system, which I'll go over, and there's a scrolling dial too. On this right side, you can see the cruise control settings. But let's fire up this Nissan Z. With my foot on the brake and the clutch, we have that button located to the left side of the shifter, and we can bring this to life. And as we look at the gauge cluster now, currently you can see on the right side there's some vitals like water temp as well as the oil temperature. Fuel level is also on that side. And then right in the middle is the tach. And on that left side, you have some more info to go through using that scrolling dial over on the left side of the steering wheel. So currently you can see TPMS. There's also boost that you can monitor. You have the G-force meter and then the indicator for the shifter. So you can go into that and configure that as you would like to. So you can customize that, or you can have it completely off. Now, if we go back and push on the menu button, you can actually change the view that you would like to see. So we are currently in sport mode. If I go to normal, you will see the entire digital gauge cluster change now, where the tach is on that left side, miles per hour is on that right side, and then you can look at a little bit of info within this screen just by going left and right. So just like you would in any other vehicle, being able to go through some vitals, you can quickly go through all this information and a lot more info than you saw in sport mode. So if you need to go through all these settings and configure this the way that you would like to, you can easily get into it with this display here. Now, if we go back and change this meter again, we can go into enhanced, where you will see it change one more time, a little bit more of a calm setting with that tach on the left side, miles per hour on that right side. And then while this is more of a calm screen in this current setting, you can still go through the rest of this information and pull it up in a much larger screen. So very cool to be able to see that. And then you have a few other settings located within that, just depending on what you would like to do for the day. But I think sport mode is the coolest of them. It gives you all of these vitals that you want to see. Now, as we work our way to the left side of the steering wheel, you will see the traction control button located right there. There's that air vent again. And then right in the middle, you can see a few more icons. We have some voltages along with turbo and boost facing the driver there. Two air vents are just underneath that. And then looking at this screen right here, it is a touchscreen system. You'll see in the lower section, these are all presets. So we have shortcuts to your phone. When you have that paired, you can go into the information here just to go through all this general information and set it up as needed. There's audio. Menu is the current screen that we are on right now, where you can configure this and have it set up the way that you would like to. And then you can also see, we can look at the clock. You have a few other icons that you can set up depending on what you would like to see. Now, this also has navigation, so we can pull that up in full screen. If I click on menu again, which is down here, we can get back to here where we can go into some other settings and just get it set up as needed. Very easy system, pretty simple, but it gives you all of the nice basics that you are looking for. Power and volume for the radio is on the left side, tuning is on the right side, and then there's some physical buttons down below for your menu. You can get into your map, quickly get into your audio, and then we have some tuning as well as a brightness control that you can use for that screen. There's also a back arrow and some camera settings that you can display as needed. Now, underneath that, very simple and easy to go through all the climate adjustments. We have the fan speed, temperature, and where you would like the air to go. All of these have a multi-purpose function to them. So you can control the AC, you can go to the defroster, and then you can push on this for the recirculation. So it's really cool to see that. A little bit of storage on this left side where you could place your phone. There's also some auxiliaries. And then directly across from the engine start stop button is the rev match button. It is a large button just for the rev matching, but you can see for sport mode is that S next to neutral. If I hold on that, then we can shut it off and then quickly turn it back on. So that will do the active rev matching for you because we have the manual transmission, but you can do it yourself, of course. Now, to go into reverse, we'll push this down over to the right and back. You will see that backup camera up here with all the guidelines, and then we have the rest of the 6 gears to go through. Now, this does also have heated seats. So we have those controls. There's also the trunk release. We have the manual parking brake. And then right in the middle, you will notice there is one of the 2 cup holders that you can currently see. In order to gain access to the second one, simply just slide the armrest back And now you have 2 cup holders if you have 2 people in the vehicle, and you can slide that forwards when you need a little bit more comfort or you do not need that. Now the button right in front of that will open up the center console area, and you can actually do that both ways. So it doesn't matter if it is forwards or backwards. So that gives you a little bit of storage along with some auxiliaries, and you even have more storage space behind both of the seats. So on this passenger side, there is this compartment that you can fold out. So you can currently see we have some documents in there right now, and then we have the same compartment over behind the driver's seat. So it's nice if you have some added bags or storage, you can place those there, and then we even have the glove box storage. So when you combine that with everything, you have a lot of storage space for this 2-door vehicle, and then also a good amount of visibility. You can see over both shoulders. You can even see out of that window when you have your head in the right angle. So very easy to see. And then up top, we also have the dome lights. As we set off now behind the wheel for the new Z, this is not the first Z that we have had on the channel. This will be our 3rd Nissan Z. So we have a lot of content surrounding this car, taking it to the mountains, really experiencing the full performance that this car is capable of. So I won't be doing all of that in today's video, so you can check out some of those other videos and reviews if you'd like to see the performance for this $50,000 sports car. So the one we're in right now is just over that, right around $53,000. The painted roof option is about $1,100, and that's really all that this car has as far as options go. Now you can also get the sport version, which is about 10 grand less if you don't want to spend more money, of course, and you don't want as much as this model here has. But as we come up to a left-hand turn, this is a fun car. It handles extremely well. It is a little bit more on the softer feeling as far as the suspension goes, and I don't want that to come across in a bad way. Personally, I like a little bit more of a stiffer vehicle. To me, it just gives it more of a performance-oriented vibe. This car, though, the suspension is nice. It absorbs bumps very well if this is a daily driving type of sports car for you, but it's also stiff enough for these turns at higher speeds. Just personally, I would like it to be a little bit stiffer, but it's not bad from the factory as it sits. Now, hopefully Nissan will come out with the Nismo version. So if you want a bit more of a hardcore version, you go with the Nismo. If you want more of a grand touring kind of performance-oriented sports car, this would be the option to go with. Now, as far as that $50,000 price point goes, you have a few other competitors in that price range. You could get a base 3-liter Toyota Supra, which is going to be about the same price, of course. And I don't really think you have anything else. BRZ FRS is going to be a much lower in the price point. Well, in the used market now, almost similar. So you kind of have this and the Supra as far as 2 affordable, performance-oriented, almost entry-level type of vehicles, or kind of the mid-level performance vehicle. Like I just said with the BRZ FRS, those are kind of below this, and then you have some other vehicles that are going to be above this price point. But with a mild acceleration, this is a quick car. 0 to 60 is around 4 seconds, but just driving this like a normal sports car, it is nice. I love the amount of interior storage that this has to offer. And it's not all that tight feeling of a car either. We have a lot of glass, so it makes it open feeling. It's not claustrophobic. The Supra is a little bit tighter feeling if you've been in one. The windows just aren't as big. So it feels more open feeling in this car. You have a little bit more storage in a sense. But it's nice. You could definitely daily drive this. You have the tech that you need. And it's a fun car. Even from 4th gear there, it's got power to get up and move. And so from 2nd gear, here we go. And just like that, we're up to speed. It is starting to rain a little bit. We have rear wheel drive, so just have to be mindful of that. But from the driver's seat now for the Nissan Z, I will say it's a lot more simple feeling on the interior, especially when you compare it to the Supra. We have some tech that you like, you know, navigation, things like that. But it doesn't seem as refined feeling. It's a little bit more laid back in a sense. There's some borrowed materials, obviously, from some of the other Nissans And the new Z is basically a 370 with some refinements and of course a new exterior shell. But I don't mean that in a bad way. You know, Nissan was able to create this for a much lower price point by doing it that way. And I think they did a great job. I love how they kind of paid tribute to some of the previous Z models with this newer design in more of a modern look, which is very nice to see. But it's a simple interior. It gives you what you need to use and nothing overboard in a sense. And as far as doing a quick 3-point turn, we have that camera system there, so it is easy to see, of course. But I like it. It's been so comfortable. Being the third one that we've had for a week, I really don't have any complaints with it as far as just being a nice and comfortable daily driving type of sports car. It definitely has the performance to back it up, and they've dynoed with well over the horsepower that Nissan puts out, or the specs that I talked about earlier. So the roads are a little bit wet, but we're going to do launch control. So we just shut off traction control. It's not going to be a hardcore launch, but this is how you activate it. You will see launch over on that left side, and here we go. So we got wheel spin obviously, but I have done launch control in other Z's and it hooks well. You can't really dump the clutch though. You have to slowly let it out to get that traction to hook up. And as you just hopefully heard with the roads, not the best launch, but it has launch control. It works very well. Unfortunately, I think that's going to wrap it up for today's review. Make sure you check out the rest of our Nissan Z videos, taking it on back roads, and all of the various content that we have made with this car. So that is the 2023 Nissan Z Performance. Give the video a huge thumbs up. Consider smashing that subscribe button so you don't miss out on our daily uploads. I will see you all in the next video.